America's 250th birthday is obviously having a party, all sorts of them. And even those parties are getting complicated. How ridiculous is that? New reporting from the New York Times shows how President Donald Trump bypassed an existing congressional commission, a bipartisan one, America 250, and formed his own group, Freedom 250, to plan the celebration. Quote, the result is a deeply partisan celebration, disgruntled celebrities, and plenty of confusion. Luke Broadwater, Pulitzer Prize-winning White House correspondent for the New York Times, is the co-author of that report. He joins me now. He's a dear friend of the 11th Hour and hopefully now Money, Power, Politics. Luke, welcome. This story is extraordinary, okay? Trump's group, Freedom 250, has now received, we shouldn't be surprised, the majority of the $150 million Congress dedicated last year to anniversary events. What exactly are they using this for?
Right. So last year in the big, beautiful bill, Congress put $150 million for these grand celebrations. America 250, which is the group that Congress created a decade ago, asked for $100 million of the funds, but so far has received only $25 million. So the rest so far, the administration is holding back and using for their own purposes to be carried out by a new group Donald Trump has created called Freedom 250. Freedom 250, of course, everybody saw on Sunday night, has lent its name to the UFC fight. They will be involved in the IndyCar race that's going to happen on Washington streets. They're involved with the Great American State Fair, which the president is having in Washington, D.C., and they're associated with some fundraising for the Triumphal Arc and the National Garden of Heroes. So all of Donald Trump's pet projects, he says Freedom 250 will be helping out with for this celebration. So in many ways, he's taken over the celebrations that were supposed to be done by America 250, which is a bipartisan group.
Okay, but here's the thing. Did Congress ask for it? Because based on your reporting, this America 250, this bipartisan commission, was so dysfunctional that they created a void that Trump just stepped into.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for America 250 had a decade to get to work on these festivities, right? And really had very little to show for itself for years and years. I mean, the group was marred by infighting. They didn't hold public meetings. I talked with the chair of the group who said it would have been embarrassing to have public meetings because of how dysfunctional it was at the time. And she blamed rogue board members who have since moved off the board. She says they're on track now to put on these events, but they've had to sort of scale down their ambitions and put on sort of smaller events. They are having a big concert in Los Angeles. It's sort of a rival concert almost to what Donald Trump's supposed to have in Washington, D.C. Of course, many of the acts associated with the president's concert have pulled out, saying they felt deceived and didn't want to be part of a partisan event. But the big concert in Los Angeles is going on.
Okay, but here's the thing. You have these competing committees, these big events, these small events. Does any of this feel like it's serving the American taxpayer? Whether it's $150 million more or less, that's still a whole hell of a lot of money. And the American people, how are they winning from this?
Right. It's a good question. I mean, you can see a world in which a celebration would unify the country, right? The 250th anniversary, where we put our differences aside and we come together just to celebrate America. But when you see partisan politics affecting these events and people associating with one group or another based on their politics, or even the history that's being presented in some of these displays being criticized as deeply partisan. Well, now is this taxpayer money bringing us together, or is it just further dividing us as we come to this anniversary?
Okay, but that's the thing, right? This isn't just about parties. And to your very point, this should be this beautiful moment that we come together, sort of warts and all. This is still the greatest country in the land, the United States of America. But we just got a Reuters Ipsos poll that showed that many Americans are doubting that America as we know it will last another 250 years. 64% see that democracy is in danger of failing. That is from both parties, okay? At least I'm going to say in my lifetime, I've never seen us feel this way. When I saw this poll number, like we hear, at the margins, like this is shocking to me. What are your thoughts now on how Americans feel in this moment and how they're feeling about our government?
Yeah, I mean, that's almost disheartening to see those poll numbers. That shows you so many people feel so poorly about the direction of this country. When we see it showing up in other polls too. People are very dissatisfied with the economy. They're dissatisfied with the costs of goods. But to the bigger point, they're also worried about the structure of government and the way we're headed as a country. Do we still respect elections? Do we still respect each other and people from across the aisle? Or is everything so deeply partisan now that we don't care anymore about the results of elections, and we're going to cast doubt on everything? Just if our side wins, we're going to say that was a victory. And if the other side loses, and if we lose, we're going to say that that is a rigged election. So, the more I think that the president and his administration cast doubt on our elections, the more you see that doubt creep in to the electorate.
Luke, as you're saying this, the market's open just a moment ago, and I'm watching the stock market go up again. And when I think about the divide in this country, it's actually the economic divide, the income inequality divide that I see as the biggest threat to what our future looks like. And that is something both parties, this whole country, the people in power, need to start solving for. Luke, thank you so much for joining us this morning.